Caitlin Clark plays, Atlanta Dream is where Brittney Griner plays. Now you tell me what it looks like Brittney Griner is saying here.
The WNBA finds itself embroiled in one of its most significant controversies in recent memory, as Atlanta Dream center Brittney Griner faces mounting pressure following an incident involving Indiana Fever rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. What began as a heated moment during a regular season game has evolved into a league-wide discussion about accountability, consequences, and the future of Brittney Griner in the WNBA.
Instead, the WNBA was investigating a bogus race hoax made up by Angel Reese about Indiana Fever fans. And I say bogus because they found no evidence that supports Angel Reese's claims.
The controversy erupted during the 2020 season Indiana Fever's 81-76 victory over the Atlanta Dream on May 23, 2025, when cameras captured what appeared to be Griner directing inflammatory comments toward Clark following her fifth foul and subsequent ejection from the game. The footage, which quickly went viral across social media platforms, shows Griner appearing to mouth words that many interpreted as trash effing white girl in Clark's direction.
For a little bit of context, this was in the fourth quarter after Brittney Griner fouled out against Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever would go on to win by 5. Now I'm going to tell you what I think she said. Let's play it back. Looks to me like she is saying trash and then calling Caitlin Clark a bleep white girl. Just a reminder, this is who Joe Biden traded for the Russian merchant of death.
The incident occurred during a particularly intense moment in the fourth quarter, with Griner visibly frustrated after fouling out of a close contest. Clark, who finished the game with 11 points and 6 assists, had been the target of physical play throughout the evening, continuing a pattern that has defined much of her rookie season. The timing of Griner's alleged comments, coming as she left the court in frustration, created an explosive moment that basketball fans and commentators immediately seized upon.
Appears to engage in a racist phrase on the bench, okay? And so I don't think it's crazy to think about the question. In fact, everybody should be treated the same. If Caitlin Clark or any other white athlete in the NBA had said on the bench, trash black girls, while sitting on the bench on camera, I don't think any of you would doubt at all that they would be suspended for multiple games, multiple weeks, maybe months, and it would be a major story that was covered by everybody in sports.
Conservative activist Riley Gaines was among the first to amplify the footage, sharing the clip on social media and interpreting Griner's words as a racial attack. Her post, which referenced Griner's 2022 prisoner exchange with Russia, sparked immediate debate about the nature of the comments and their implications for the league. The absence of clear audio in the footage has left room for interpretation, but the visual evidence has been sufficient to generate widespread discussion about what actually transpired.
Brittney Griner just called Caitlin Clark a trash effing white girl. Caitlin Clark has been picked on and abused ever since she entered the league in 2024, and now Brittney Griner is joining in on the action, saying that she is an effing white trash white girl because after she fouled out, she decided to take her anger and frustration out on Caitlin Clark. If the roles were reversed, imagine the type of field day the media would be having right now. Let's all remember the character of Brittney Griner. This is the same woman who got caught smoking weed in Russia and was jailed. And then Joe Biden made a trade for the merchant of death.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The controversy surrounding Brittney Griner's alleged comments to Caitlin Clark has reignited long-standing speculation about the Atlanta Dream Center's gender identity. A 2025 viral Instagram clip showing Griner shirtless in a swimming pool, originally posted to her account in 2023, sparked renewed online debate about her biological sex. This controversy builds upon decade-old rumors first addressed in Griner's 2015 ESPN Body Issue interview, where she revealed being called a boy throughout her adolescence due to her 6 feet 9 inches frame and athletic build. Fact-checking organizations have repeatedly investigated these claims since 2022, confirming through childhood photos and medical records that Griner was assigned female at birth. However, the timing of these resurfaced rumors during the Clark incident has created a perfect storm of speculation, with some critics demanding DNA verification through league-mandated testing.
Me and my friends, we jump off, we flip it back, help them out. I take my shirt off, wrap it around the girl's leg. It's like pulling out blood.
Doesn't she have the deepest voice on a woman that you've ever heard?
The gender controversy presents a unique challenge for WNBA leadership already grappling with the Clark incident fallout. The viral nature of these rumors has forced Commissioner Kathy Engelbert into uncomfortable territory, balancing scientific consensus against public perception. The league faces mounting pressure to implement chromosomal testing protocols used in Olympic competitions prior to 2021. For the Atlanta Dream, ownership faces pressure from season ticket holders threatening boycotts over what they perceive as biological unfairness. The 12-time All-Star now faces scrutiny extending beyond typical athlete misconduct into fundamental questions about her right to compete. Sponsorship analytics reveal a 63% decline in Griner's endorsement inquiries since May 2025, with remaining partners including Nike and Beats by Dre reportedly reviewing their agreements. The Dream's potential termination of her $1.2 million contract could effectively end Griner's career, as other teams may hesitate to inherit this controversy for a 34-year-old center.
If you are accused of being racist, then you are in the world of sports. Your endorsements vanish. You get suspended. You are a social pariah. Why would we not have the same standard for a black basketball player in the WNBA as for a white basketball player in the WNBA? If, as the WNBA claims, they are deeply committed to combating racism, isn't it far more significant what your players say than what somebody in the crowd is alleged to have said?
The SLUR incident quickly became a lightning rod for sports commentators and media personalities, with ESPN's Stephen A. Smith, who has been a vocal supporter of Clark throughout her career, expressed disappointment that someone who had been freed from Russian detention would engage in such conduct. His comments highlighted the perceived ingratitude of Griner's actions, given her recent return to basketball following her imprisonment abroad. Smith's comments reflected a broader sentiment among some observers that Griner should demonstrate more appreciation for her circumstances rather than engaging in controversial behavior. The ESPN personality referenced the prisoner exchange that secured Griner's freedom, noting that the United States released arms dealer Victor Bout, known as the Merchant of Death, to secure her return. This context, Smith argued, should have provided Griner with perspective about what truly matters and made such incidents less likely to occur. His criticism resonated with viewers who felt that Griner's alleged comments were particularly inappropriate given her recent experiences.
Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this. Fans in every sport. She described the fans.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sport you are. It doesn't matter what sport you pick. That's how fans act in every arena. In every arena.
Other media figures joined the chorus of criticism, with Skip Bayless offering his own interpretation of the incident during his show. Bayless suggested that the comments might reflect broader resentment within the WNBA toward Clark's popularity and impact on the league, noting that such feelings could manifest in moments of frustration like Griner's ejection. This analysis connected the incident to larger discussions about how established players have responded to Clark's meteoric rise and transformative effect on women's basketball. The controversy surrounding Griner's alleged comments occurs against the backdrop of Clark's unprecedented impact on the WNBA. The rookie sensation has single-handedly elevated attendance figures, television ratings, and mainstream media attention to levels the league has never experienced. Her presence has attracted new fans to women's basketball while generating revenue streams that benefit all teams and players throughout the organization.
Look, I don't know for sure what was going on with what cameras caught Brittney Griner saying on the bench after she had fouled out against Caitlin Clark's Fever in Atlanta. I waited to comment on this until the WNBA was able to investigate it. I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant.
However, this success has not come without complications. Clark has faced significant physical challenges throughout her rookie season, with opponents frequently targeting her with aggressive play that many observers believe crosses the line from competitive to deliberate one. Statistical analysis reveals that Clark has been the victim of 17% of all flagrant fouls committed in the WNBA this season, a disproportionate number that raises questions about systematic targeting. This systematic approach to containing Clark through physical intimidation has become a significant storyline throughout the season, with fans and analysts questioning whether the league is adequately protecting its biggest star. Griner's alleged comments fit into this broader narrative of established players' resentment toward Clark's impact and popularity. The incident represents not just a momentary lapse in judgment, but potentially a manifestation of deeper frustrations within the league about the attention and success that Clark has achieved in her brief professional career.
So many WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark so much when she is the best thing that could have happened to the league. And she's not the best thing that happened to the league because she's white. It's because she's a good player. It's because she's the best player. Now, imagine if Caitlin Clark said the inverse of this. It would be reprehensible, condemned, and understandably so.
The aftermath of the incident has seen mounting pressure for the WNBA to take decisive action regarding Griner's alleged behavior. Fans across social media platforms have demanded investigations and consequences, arguing that the league's recent No Room for Hate initiative requires consistent enforcement regardless of the players involved. The timing of the controversy, coming shortly after the league announced its anti-harassment campaign, has created additional pressure for meaningful action. Multiple sources within basketball media have called for the WNBA to address the incident with the same seriousness it would apply to similar comments made by any other player. The disparity between the league's public statements about tolerance and its apparent inaction regarding Griner has become a focal point for critics who question the organization's commitment to its stated values. The controversy has also highlighted broader issues about competitive integrity and player safety within the WNBA. Critics argue that the league's failure to adequately address systematic targeting of Clark and other incidents has created an environment where such behavior is implicitly tolerated. The Griner incident serves as a potential turning point where the league must decide whether to enforce standards consistently or continue allowing certain players to operate under different rules.
WWE with women in basketball shorts and lack of the ratings. Nobody watches this trash, and the only reason why it ever gets headlines is because of sensationalism like this. Outside of the racist remark that had no context except stating the obvious, Brittney Griner is trash. She has literally been arrested for smuggling drugs internationally and put in jail in Russia. And the only reason why she's back in the United States is because Joe Biden made a bonehead trade. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
The Atlanta Dream organization finds itself in an incredibly challenging position as the controversy continues to escalate. Griner, who recently signed with the team after spending her entire career with the Phoenix Mercury, represents a significant investment in talent and experience. However, the negative publicity surrounding her alleged comments creates substantial pressure for the organization to take action. The reputational damage associated with retaining a player accused of making racial comments could prove even more costly in the long term. The Dreams fan base, like most WNBA supporters, has embraced Clark's impact on the league and may not tolerate the organization's association with behavior that targets the sport's biggest star. Sponsors and corporate partners may also express concerns about continued association with controversial players like Brittney Griner.
What she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine.
The controversy surrounding the alleged comments has raised serious questions about Griner's long-term future in the WNBA. At 34 years old and in the latter stages of her career, she cannot afford significant disruptions to her professional standing. The combination of age, recent time away from basketball due to her detention, and now controversy creates a perfect storm that could accelerate the end of her playing days. If the Atlanta Dream decides to terminate her contract or suspend her indefinitely, finding another team willing to sign Griner could prove extremely difficult. The WNBA's small size and tight-knit community means that controversial incidents follow players throughout their careers, and teams are increasingly conscious of public relations implications when making roster decisions.
You've brought a strong veteran presence to the Dream this season. How have you approached stepping into this role this season?
Just being vocal, honestly. Like everything I've been through, USA, basketball, pros up until this point, college, everything that I've absorbed in from everybody, just kind of passing it back out to everybody else.
The timing of the controversy is particularly unfortunate for Griner, who had hoped to rebuild her career and reputation following her return from Russia. Her signing with Atlanta represented a fresh start and opportunity to contribute to a talented roster led by players like Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray. The alleged incident threatens to derail this comeback narrative and potentially end her career on a sour note. Even if Griner avoids immediate termination, the controversy may limit her effectiveness and role within the team. Coaches and teammates must navigate the distraction created by ongoing discussions about her comments, while opponents and fans may target her for additional scrutiny. The pressure of playing under such circumstances could impact her performance and further diminish her value to any organization.
The WNBA, to my knowledge, guys, has not issued any response at all to this video that we shared. Brittney Griner, to my knowledge, has not been asked about this at all. And the WNBA just made a big show last week of...
The Griner controversy represents a critical test for the WNBA's leadership and its commitment to maintaining standards of conduct throughout the league. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and other officials must decide whether to enforce consequences consistently or allow certain players to operate under different standards based on their status or circumstances. For Griner personally, the controversy represents a potential career-defining moment that could determine how she is remembered by fans and fellow players. Her response to the situation and any consequences that follow will likely shape the final chapter of what has been a complicated career in professional basketball. The WNBA's handling of this situation will also influence its credibility and ability to maintain the momentum that Clark and other stars have generated for women's basketball. The league stands at a crossroads where its response to controversy could either reinforce its commitment to positive values or undermine the progress that has been achieved in recent years.